All right. So this week we had the backlash, the further fallout, if you will, from the Andy Stanley situation. And I do want to shout out like K-Dub and Violet. I want to shout out Luke Chikune and countless other YouTubers that have taken the time to turn on their cameras to address this matter. And I want to say shout outs to them as well, because I think keeping North Point's feet to the fire and keeping them placard out there really helps people to see and to not just let it slip into the back of their mind like, oh, I forgot about it. But no, like to remember, like, yo, this is what this church is up to. And I think it's really good. So shout out to them. Shout out to Protestia. Shout out to G3. I've spoken with tons of people from G3, and lots of them have expressed their concerns about North Point, and they're getting their voices out there. So I do want to give big shout outs to those people as well. But I thought that the New Evangelicals video was just literally the slam dunk heard around the world. To hear two people that are extremely affirming of the direction that Andy Stanley and North Point Church are following in, to trip over themselves, fall over themselves, to give accolades and to attaboys and pat on the backs for North Point, I think there's really nothing else that needs to be said. They truly are going in a direction of being affirming of the alphabet community. And I wanted to do an activity here to just ask, like, I've put the question out there. If you are a supporter of North Point, I have no problem with it. I'd love to hear, when has Andy Stanley ever spoke against a sin? And then when has Andy Stanley ever given the gospel? Like, what would be, you can send me the link, timestamp that thing. But when has Andy Stanley ever called out sin? And I bring that up because I've listened to a lot of Andy Stanley sermons. I don't hear him call out sin, even when he mentions something like adultery, even if he mentions something like stealing. It's very apologetic. It's very death by 1,000 qualifications type of situation. And I would just love to, show me a video of him actually calling out a sin. And calling it sin and saying that it's wrong and so on and so forth. Now, I know somebody's going to say during the When Gracie Met Ruthie sermon, he said that the couple were in adultery. That is true. He did. The problem is he told the two gay men that were in a relationship together, because one of the gay men was still married to a woman, but he was in a relationship with another man. He said that man's relationship was adultery because he was still married. So once the man got unmarried or divorced, then Andy had no problem with that relationship. So, but I'm open to it. I would love to hear, when has Andy ever called out sin? And please share it with me. I will 100% come on here and apologize or acknowledge something I've said wrong. Matter of fact, I am going to talk about that in a moment as well. It's on my notes. I did say something wrong on a video earlier, and I want to clarify that. And it was about Andy too. So let me drop that in the chat right now. Okay, cool. Got it. All right. Yeah, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. So I would love to hear, especially if you're somebody that supports Andy, supports North Point, you think they're fantastic. I've had a couple people chime in on my in my comment section, and I've asked, but then they disappear. So I really do want to know, when has Andy actually spoke out against sin? Like, when is it? When you can point to and say, here, on this video, on this date, timestamp, 12 minutes and 18 seconds in, this is where he spoke about it. I would love to hear that. I would love to, because I don't hear it. And I've heard quite a few of his sermons. Not a few, but quite a few. Now, I made a mistake the other day. I mentioned that North Point Community Church, they do this. I said that they had what's called the North Point Nights, which was a an evening service for the young adults, young professionals, and college age students. I believe in the video I said that there were middle school students in there as well. And that is not correct. It was not middle school students that I know of. Now, sure, there might have been middle school students in the room. Sure, there might have been high school students, but I know North Point Nights was for like your college age students and young professionals, those who just came out of college. I believe in my conversation, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I say that they were middle school students because in the video, there's a gay guy discussing his pretend marriage to another man and all of the that goes on with that. And at the end of the day, it wasn't middle schoolers. It was actually college age and young professionals. So I do want to make sure I clarify that. So I didn't mean to misrepresent them. So I did misspeak there. But so we're just shedding that light on North Point, trying to be like a flashlight, in a dark church. Because they got them theological shades pulled down. So we're going to go ahead and call them out. So I appreciate y'all so much.